In today's video, we're covering picks 11 through 20 from the 2022 NFL Draft. Some rookies showed up big last season for their teams. Others, well, they've yet to prove their worth. Regardless, making it to the NFL is the first step for any pro football player in their quest for gridiron greatness. If you haven't seen our most recent video, where we cover picks 11 through 1, check it out in the link in the descriptions below. Otherwise, let's get started. Number 20, Kenny Pickett, quarterback for the Steelers. The top priority for the Steelers heading into this past offseason was very simple: find a new franchise quarterback to fill the enormous shoes of future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger. They didn't have to look far for their next franchise hopeful, as they drafted local kid Kenny Pickett, 20th overall out of Pitt. Standing at 6'3" and weighing 220 pounds, Pickett is an average to slightly above average size quarterback, but his biggest strengths thus far are his ability to scramble and short to medium range throws. Pickett can take off and burn defenses with his legs when he needs to, and he's capable of making smart decisions with the football when it comes to short and medium passes. Unfortunately for Pickett, he didn't show off his arm strength very much in 2022 with the deep ball. His touchdown-interception ratio was nothing special either, at 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Nevertheless, Pickett did show glimpses of the leader that he could become, as he became the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to throw game-winning touchdown passes in the final minute of 2 straight games, when Pittsburgh defeated both the Raiders and the Ravens. The jury is still out on Pickett, but he could quiet a lot of critics for a strong season in 2023. Grade C. Number 19, Trevor Penning, offensive tackle for the Saints. Trevor Penning struggled with injuries most of his rookie season. He suffered a torn ligament in his foot in September and had to wait until November 26 to be reactivated, so he only played in 6 games. But don't let the small sample size fool you though. This guy is aggressive. He's massive. Standing at 6'7" and weighing 325 pounds, he knows how to use his incredibly large frame to seal off defensive linemen and open up huge holes for running backs. His footwork is incredibly solid as well. The only concern going forward into 2023 is temper. He was dismissed from practice for getting into a fight with his teammates. While any coach would love to have a player with a mean streak like his, good football players channel that aggressiveness into making big plays. If Penning stays healthy in 2023 and learns how to play smart, he'll be a fantastic addition to the Saints' offensive line for years to come. Grade B+. Number 18, Treylon Burks, wide receiver for the Titans. Treylon Burks missed time and only played 10 games in 2022 while battling a nagging turf toe injury. But once he was able to step on the field, he made a memorable impact, catching 29 passes for 425 yards and a touchdown. Burks is not your typical lightning-fast wideout. But standing at 6'3" and weighing 225 pounds, what he's missing in speed, he makes up for with impressive size, making him a reliable target for any quarterback. Not to mention there were several times when Burks played in 2022 where he would not only rack up yards after the catch, but he'd do it while carrying opposing defenders an extra 5 to 10 yards before they finally brought him down. The only downside to Burks' game so far is that he rarely gets enough separation from opposing defensive backs on deep throws. But that isn't so surprising considering he only ran a 4.45 in the 40-yard dash before the NFL draft. That stat alone made it very surprising to see him taken this early in the draft, since that time is comparatively slow for wide receivers drafted into the first round. But if he can get and stay healthy, the Titans will have a reliable and physically imposing weapon in the passing game for the foreseeable future. Grade C. Number 17, Zion Johnson, offensive guard for the Chargers. Zion Johnson started all 17 games for the Chargers in 2022. The 316-pound guard out of Boston College was a steady presence on the line when it came to protecting Justin Herbert. Johnson didn't overpower or bull rush opposing defensive linemen, but he managed to hold his own throughout the season, which is impressive for a rookie. Johnson had incredible balance and solid footwork, and he wasn't beaten very often in one-on-one matchups. His most impressive showing came against Chiefs pass rusher and 4-time Pro Bowler Chris Jones. Aside from getting past Johnson on a couple of plays to tip a pass or pressure Justin Herbert, Johnson largely held Jones in check for most of the night by using solid footwork and staying with him. If Johnson can play this well in 2023, the Chargers may have found themselves a future anchor for their offensive line. Grade B. Number 16, Jahan Dotson, wide receiver for the Commanders. The Commanders completed a trio of Big Ten wideouts by adding Penn State's Jahan Dotson to a wide receiver crew that includes a pair of former Buckeyes and Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin. Even though he missed several games due to an injured hamstring, Dotson seemed to fit right in with what the Commanders were looking for in a wide receiver, someone who is fast, elusive, and capable of making explosive plays. In 12 games, Dotson caught 31 passes for 523 yards and 7 touchdowns, while winning the Pepsi Rookie of the Week award twice. Assuming he can stay healthy for an entire season in 2023, Dotson is poised to do much bigger things as part of an athletic Washington receiver room. Grade B+. Number 15. Kenyon Green, offensive tackle for the Texans. Kenyon Green promises to be a rare bright spot on what may be a flat-out bad Texans team in 2023, as Houston only managed to go 3-13-1 last season. The hulking offensive lineman stands 6'4" and weighs 323 pounds. But if you only looked at the way he played, you think he was about 50 pounds lighter. Green's biggest strengths in 2022 were his speed and ability to diagnose plays correctly. This was especially true when it came to picking up and recognizing blitzes. Green was surprisingly fast when it came to getting out in space and really good at setting up blocks downfield for running backs. The Texans still have a long way to go before they're considered a competitive or decent team, but picking up a guy with several different tools in his arsenal like Green will no doubt speed up the rebuilding process. Grade B. Number 14. Kyle Hamilton, safety for the Ravens. It's no surprise that Kyle Hamilton was the first safety off the board in 2022 during the NFL Draft. The rookie out of Notre Dame possesses all the tools a team wants to see at the position, and Hamilton used them all in the 16 games he played. Hamilton is an exciting mix of smart, speed, and power. He can diagnose plays like a linebacker, has the speed to run down the ball carrier, and the power to lay down vicious hits that are hard enough to jar the ball loose and force turnovers. Through 16 games, Hamilton registered 62 tackles, including 46 solo tackles. He also notched 2 sacks, broke up 5 passes, and forced a fumble. No matter what the situation calls for, whether it's playing the football, coming up in run support, or serving as an enforcer on the defense, Hamilton gets the job done. Grade B+. Number 13. Jordan Davis, defensive tackle for the Eagles. One thing comes to mind when watching Jordan Davis play: sheer size. At 6'6" and nearly 340 pounds, Davis is an absolute mountain of a man. And considering how big linemen are in the NFL, that is saying something. But what makes the first round pick out of Georgia the complete package is his strength, solid technique, footwork, and unbelievable speed for a big man. Davis's 40-yard dash time was clocked at 4.78 seconds, only 0.2 of a second off the top time of all defensive linemen at the combine. The craziest thing, the lineman who had the top 40-yard time weighed nearly 100 pounds less than him. The only knock on Davis thus far in his career is that he was put on injury reserve for an ankle injury back in Week 8 and was out until he was reactivated on December 3rd. But going into 2023, Davis will not only be fully healthy and ready to play, but he'll also have plenty of game experience under his belt from Philly's run to the Super Bowl last season. That's scary enough, but Davis could be an absolute nightmare for the rest of the league if he puts everything together. Grade B+. Number 12. Jameson Williams, wide receiver for the Lions. Jameson Williams has the potential to be one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. But unfortunately for him, he began his rookie season on injury reserve back in August, thanks to a torn ACL he suffered in college during Alabama's loss to Georgia in the national championship game. Williams remained on injury reserve until he was activated on December 3rd, before Detroit's Week 13 game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but he didn't make any catches during that game. Williams' first and only catch of the 2022 season came the following week when the Lions played the Vikings. But that one catch was a 41-yard touchdown in a 34-23 Detroit win, and he got a small measure of revenge against the Vikings since they had traded his pick to the Lions on draft night. Williams is still an unknown at this point, since he's still getting back to full strength after his ACL injury. But when he is healthy, he is incredibly fast, even if his route running is still raw. Grade C+. Number 11. Chris Olave, wide receiver for the Saints. We end this video with one of the most impressive rookies from the 2022 season. Like his former college teammate Garrett Wilson did as a rookie in the Big Apple, Chris Olave made a big impression with his new team in the Big Easy. Olave ended his season with 72 catches for 1,042 yards and 4 touchdowns, which was good enough to earn a spot on the PFWA All-Rookie team. Olave was a versatile all-around receiver for the Saints in 2022. He's fast enough to get separation from opposing defensive backs and catches nearly everything thrown his way. Whether it's making a normal catch to simply move the chains, snagging the ball in heavy traffic, making an unbelievable circus catch, or hauling in a long bomb from a touchdown, Chris Olave has proven to be a very reliable receiver. If he continues to display his skills while growing into his prime over the next few years, Chris Olave has the potential to be one of the brightest NFL stars of the future. Grade B+. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the final video in our 2022 NFL Draft Recap series, where we review how the 2022 season went for picks 21 through 32. Thanks for watching.